Hello, guys and gals, and welcome to another episode of Unique Items. I got my Shaco beanie on today. Just came in the mail. Today, we're going to be going over the X-Files Corroded Signet, which is a pretty freaking sweet item, to be perfectly honest. X-Files Coroded Signet has some pretty amazing effects. First off, it does have all stats, which goes up to 42. As you can see, I already have mine upgraded 5 times. It also has 42% damage over time, which does roll between 21 and 42%. 8.7% lucky hit chance, which rolls between 4.8 and 9%, and 6.2 to 10.3% cooldown reduction. Mine actually rolled really well on most of the stats. I was actually surprised, and I doubt I'm going to be able to find a better one than this. It also has a really amazing unique effect, which is basically where it has a 50% chance on lucky hit, which of course is determined by your lucky hit chance. So if you have like a 50% lucky hit already, then it's not going to be like the most amazing percent chance, but a 50% chance when you do lucky hit is actually pretty darn good. And it basically erupts in a huge explosion of damage of the same type to nearby enemies. Now, the cool thing about this same type, and the fact that it's a very generic item, is that it can work with just about any type of damage. So whether you're dishing out fire damage over time, poison damage over time, bleeding damage from a barbarian, like fire damage, etc., whatever shadow damage, whatever kind of DOT you're putting out, you can get some pretty crazy numbers with this. And because it's an explosion that dishes out pretty massive damage to everything nearby, it also works really well on like any class that has a pull-in. Now, mine in particular, I got from Duriel, and I have not seen any other ones drop. It is a special drop from Duriel, though. It is something that you can get from him, and I have gotten quite a few from Duriel. So if you do farm Uber Duriel, you are likely to see one of these fall. It does have a flavor text which says, "Skulking in the shadows of the realm of destruction, the scarred Baron plots the downfall of the mortal who banished him there." Now, let's go see if we can show off this power a little bit. I got like a million minions, and it does make it a little bit difficult. But well, basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull them all in, and then I'm going to put my DOT underneath their feet. And a lot of the times you'll see the explosion happen. I'll literally just, pull them in, and then I put the DOT under them, and all of a sudden you see everything just like fall down with a very nice explosion. And boom, and then everything just died. It actually does happen really quickly, especially if you're using pull-ins, because the pull-ins, as you can see here from that death, as soon as it triggers, it can sometimes trigger multiple times within that segment, and it dishes out a pretty massive amount of damage to everything nearby. Obviously, if you pull them in, you're going to have everything nearby much quicker. And this particular build is kind of hard to see the damage numbers on because I have so much going on. I mean, I've got the mages, I've got the skeletons, I've got the golem, I've got the blizzards coming down, I've got the DOT numbers all over the place. And then, of course, I also got the X-Files Coroded Signet damage numbers popping up, too. And it makes for kind of a mess, but it's a very nice mess. So far, I've been pleasantly surprised with this ring, and as soon as I found it, I just kind of incorporated it into my build, pretty much bar none. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, well, I'm a DOT character. I'm dishing out shadow damage. Like, this just makes perfect sense for me. If I was a poison damage character, I would feel the same. If I was a fire damage character, I would feel the same. I mean, this ring seems almost universally good across the board for just about any DOT character, because it gives you a way to basically use your damage over time, and in the process, get a very nice DOT bonus, and then get the proccing effect, which allows your DOT to hit pretty much everything within range, which is absolutely great. Overall, I think this is one of those freaking sexy rings that a lot of people are going to want to get their hands on, and very well could be best in slot for multiple builds. Because it does morph to the damage type of the character who's utilizing the damage, it's also really excellent as well, because I'm assuming that this also means that if you have effects like, for instance, shadow damage over time, things like that. I'm pretty sure I have, yeah, right here. So 16.5% shadow damage over time, right? Well, or darkness damage, whichever one that it happens to be. Shadow damage, darkness damage, etc. Like, this is going to morph to my stats, right? So the damage is actually going to get increased proportionally to what I have on my character, which means that I can really pump out some pretty awesome damage numbers with a ring like this. I really like the graphic too. I think the graphic is really cool looking. It almost looks like a broken ring, like it's got a crack down the center of it or something. Because of the change a while back, it is capped at level 80, so you'll never find this one lower than level 80. And this is the highest that you can possibly get it. So if you do happen to find one that's a lower item level, it might not necessarily be as good as this one. So keep that in mind, because mine is a 925 plus 25, 5 upgrades. And you might find, say, an 850 version of this. And the stats won't be quite as good. The damage on the actual explosion does roll too, as you can see, from 34,473 to 41,368. And I happen to get a perfect roll on the damage number as well, which was I was kind of excited about, I'm not going to lie. As always, I do appreciate you guys and gals watching my videos, even when we're just going over Zval's Coroded Signet. And join me as we go over some of the other unique items, because I have quite a few new ones from the new patch. And don't forget to pick up your Shaco beanie as well. As always, thanks for watching, and keep watching.